Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
It's that time of year when one episode turns into just one more season, when dessert turns into dinner, and time doesn't exist until the clock strikes midnight. Wait, what time is it? It's time to finish strong. At Planet Fitness, we're not waiting for the new year to give it everything we've got. Enjoy 24-hour access at most clubs when you join for $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime, and pay nothing until January 17th. Deal ends December 31st. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, the number one fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln area. We are going to keep this train rolling in a big way with new half-ton and 4x4 pickup trucks starting at $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You heard that right, $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You pick which one works better for you. Please stop on in the dealership and meet the team or check us out at CoppellCars.com. Stock number C280930. All deals with roof credit.
Winter is just around the corner. Is your vehicle ready? Don't get left out in the cold. At A1 Automotive, we prep your car for whatever winter throws your way here in Nebraska. For battery checks, brake inspections, tires, heaters, whatever your car needs to keep you and your family safe on the road, we've got you covered. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
When the clock strikes zero after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches, too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinnie Krekak of State Farm Insurance. Husker Nation, now is the time.
Holy moly! Man, woman, and child did that. Put them in the aisle.
Touchdown, Nebraska!
Does he have enough? Is it long enough?
It's going to be tipped and caught! It's caught! How many tackles can one man break? He's to the 20, he's to the 10, he's all the way! Totally unbelievable!
It's game day in Lincoln, America, and this is the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show. The A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show is powered by Select Plumbing, Raising Cane's, Advanced Medical Imaging, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Currency, and the Kindler Hotel.
Come on.
Get up and get loud, Husker fans. The A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show starts now.
Good morning from Las Vegas, Nevada. Good afternoon in Lincoln, Nebraska. This is Jake Sorensen kicking off things on the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show live from outside beautiful Allegiant Stadium here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Kickoff is just 2.5 hours. Huskers against the Utah Utes. Nebraska 14-point underdogs against Utah. Certainly would be a nice thing today if Nebraska could end their 29-game skid against ranked teams. Also surpass last year's record, go 8-5. A lot of things in play for Nebraska today as they, again, try to end the season strong with the second straight bowl win after missing, 7 straight bowl games prior to last year going to the Pinstripe Bowl against Boston College in New York City. It has been an interesting time so far here in Vegas. Got here about 5 o'clock last night, local time. Enjoyed the scenery, enjoyed the strip. Today's gonna be pretty crazy in terms of how things look here in Vegas for New Year's Eve with all the different festivities. We actually were told that the strip is going to not be accessible, at least via car, after 6 p.m. So we'll see exactly what that looks like for Vegas. But before that, we got a football game. And Nebraska, again, like I said, is trying to get to a point where they get to an 8th win for the first time since 2016. And again, try to find a way to end the season on a strong note for what has been, obviously most would say acceptable, but somewhat disappointing for what the schedule was this year. Nebraska, of course, blew chances to beat Michigan at home, a ranked team, USC, a ranked team. Of course, Dylan's injury hurt in that game, so that did not help causes in trying to get to a playoff conversation. Because let's go back in time. Nebraska, end of October, was thought to have been potentially a playoff contender, and then things just did not go the way they want. Is Sip on the line? Do I hear Sip? Sip, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. Well, how are you?
I'm good. Are we on?
We're on the air. We're on the air. Yes, the pregame show has begun. I'm actually outside the building. I have not gone in yet. I got my press credential. Nick's gone, and you'll see him shortly, but I will be in here after the segment. But I was telling off the bat just kind of what's in play here, Sip. But you've been in Vegas since Friday. Are you a local now at this point?
Yeah, I am a local, and I love it. I really do. It's been fun. We have been here for a long time. So today's Wednesday.
Yes.
Yeah, we got in Friday night. So yeah, I've seen as much as I want to see, but I've enjoyed it. And yeah, now as far as today goes, I'm in the stadium right now. We're up in the press box right now.
Good. Well, I'll see you shortly. Yeah, it's been. I can't imagine. I was here in Vegas for a week for the Super Bowl last year, and that was a long time. And I was enjoying myself, so I'm happy that you've had a good time, and I'm sure ready to get home tomorrow back to Nebraska. But in terms of the game, Sip, we looked at this for Nebraska. So many things in play, trying to snap a 29-game skid against ranked teams, trying to get an 8th win, trying to surpass last year's win total by winning this and end the season on a good note. I mean, when you talk about what this game means for the program, and we've always discussed bowl momentum. Well, an 8th win is significant, and ending the skid against ranked teams is significant. What's the biggest thing? In fact, what's the biggest thing today that's important to you if they were to get the win?
Well, I think any conversation, excuse me, about, I still don't have my voice, Jake. Any conversation about this game, I think occurs in the context of the last 2 games. I mean, you got to reverse that quickly. You got beat 37-10 by Penn State. Nebraska lost 40-16 to Iowa. You can't take another whipping like that, right? I mean, That's what it's largely about, right? You can't go into the offseason with 3 straight bad losses. Not if you're trying to build a program. I'm not saying it's like the end all. I'm not. But if you're selling a build and you're really thinking you're building the right way, how would you sell that to people?
Yep.
So this game to me is significant. Now, one thing though you have to keep in mind is the guys that aren't playing. So I don't know. It's kind of hard to measure the game, but I will say that if you look at the guys that aren't playing on both teams, it pretty much balances out, I think. It's not, oh, one team has a big advantage because the guy's not playing. I think it's pretty even. But those are the two things that are mainly on my mind right now.
Well, there's a lot of things in play for Nebraska. Again, number one, TJ Lateef is going to play. Again, he got hurt against Iowa with the hamstring injury, but he's set to play today. He looks out there. But I think, again, the biggest question about Nebraska is not even, offensively, yes, how do you replace Emmett Johnson? We'll get there in a second. But Utah comes in as the number 2 rushing offense in the country, so down a couple offensive linemen, but still, Devin Dampier will play the quarterback. They've got the running backs around. I mean, Nebraska had a full month to try to figure something out defensively under Phil Snow with John Butler let go. I mean, what kind of wrinkle can they actually provide, if anything, from last time out against Iowa? So,
what kind of wrinkle could Nebraska provide?
Defensively, I mean, to try to stop the second-ranked rushing offense in the country in Utah.
Yeah, I don't know if there'll be a wrinkle. There could be, because the reason I hesitate is because they don't have Deshaun McCullough. Nebraska doesn't have Deshaun McCullough, who opted out. Injury, I guess, is what you're talking about. He's your jack linebacker. I don't know that they feel good enough about their other jacks to go in there and say, okay, we're just going to play what we've been through. So you might see something a little different. The main thing, though, what they've been talking about is it's not about teams. It's been about effort and physicality and want to. That those things have to pick up. And, just understanding assignments, So I don't know. I'm not ruling out wrinkle. I don't think it's as much about that as it is about playing with more vigor, matching intensity. And I think that's going to be big today. Jake, I really do. Utah, Morton Scally will have them playing hard. That whole Whittingham thing is complicated, but it's not. I don't think Nebraska caught a break. I really don't. I think it's almost now they have this sort of new start. That's what we talk about. We have a fresh start at Utah, and Morgan Scally's teams play with their hair on fire. That's Utah. That's what Utah people do. Nebraska better be ready. Jake, Nebraska better be ready to match that. They got to match that.
You said something there that's concerning, but you're right. And I think Nebraska fans would say they saw it on tape, but it's just confusing to me still how you don't have the want to or the desire, the vigor to be the more physical team. I mean, November has been an issue for Nebraska now for years, not just under Matt Rule, but Scott Frost, Mike Riley. Winning games in November has plagued this program for a long time. This is December, obviously, but and this is indoors, so it won't be in the cold. But you still finish the season now. How can you not have the vigor or the want to close it out? I don't understand that. I know you probably don't either. Someone that has a competitive mind yourself in a sports background. How do you assess that? So how do you explain that?
I don't know. I don't understand why it's occurring. It's got to be. You hate to say the word culture. People don't like that. It's a buzzword, but it kind of comes down to that. There's a certain mentality. I know you too, Jay. I've known you for a long time. There's a certain mentality that you want your teams to play with, and you haven't really seen that from Nebraska enough. You want to see. You want to see, like, to use a basketball analogy, get to the loose ball faster. I don't know why we're not seeing that as much. But I'll tell you this: you're going to need to see it today, because I mean, there's a lot about this game that concerns me, and Utah's mentality, and it's we always talk about the Bulls, which team is more motivated.
Yeah,
Nebraska be more motivated. Let's see Nebraska be the more motivated team, and there should be plenty to motivate them. Starting with nobody's giving them a chance to win.
I'm curious, Sip, in the sessions you've had so far, media with Nebraska's players, and obviously Matt Rule speaking, and the assistant coaches, what are they giving off the vibe this team expects to win this game? And also, I guess when it comes to the health of TJ Lateef, what is the report this week on that for Matt Rule and the staff on what to expect health-wise from him today as he starts against Utah?
Well, hey, Jake, that's a credit. I mean, that should have been the third thing. Well, you mentioned it, so good job. That's the third thing on my mind is how does Latif look? Now, what they've said is full go. Now, what they've also said is they didn't, like it was on today's Wednesday, Monday, they said they just turned him loose really 2 days ago. So they didn't really turn him loose till he got here, essentially. So they had been careful with him. They're saying he's ready to roll, but you won't know. Hey, Jake, you won't know until that first time he takes off with the ball. And then what's that look like? And then what does it look like when he's jogging back to the line of scrimmage? That's what you got to watch close. How does he look? Does he find fourth gear? Does he get to fourth gear? That's the thing I'm watching. Because Jake, he's got to run now. It's a fast track down there.
Yeah.
It's a fast track, indoor game. His speed could be really important.
Yeah, I think it's one of those trepidation tip. Obviously, you're a big underdog in general, 14-2 touchdown underdog, but you don't know Latif's status if he's going to start. But like you said, is he healthy enough to run and take off? Because we saw him play well against UCLA, and ever since that, Penn State wasn't pretty. The whole team suffered that day. Iowa, of course, he got hurt. We don't know what Latif is at his best. UCLA was a very poor team by the time Nebraska played them, so it was tough to say he was going against a good defense when they weren't that great this season in general. But Utah is not an elite defense. They're good. They have they had to give up 400 plus rushing yards to K-State in the victory in November, so they had their own flaws, but without Emmett Johnson, you got to get creative in ways to run the football and move the ball in general.
Yeah, Jake, now here's the thing. I think it's possible that this game could look more like UCLA for Latif and the offense in general. Utah is 113th in the nation in total defense. Okay? 113th. They have not been. No, excuse me. They're 60th in total defense, 113th against the run. Nebraska should move the teams all day today. And if you look at it like that, you're talking about the 113th ranked rush defense in America, the 60th ranked total defense. The team should find a lot, forcing the passenger to run it. So I think Nebraska can put up enough points. Put up points. Can't put up enough of them, though, because the other end of it looks scary. That's a scary offense that Nebraska faces. And that's what it'll come down to. Nebraska can slow them at all, is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, again, it could be a high-scoring game if it's very likely it's possible. But when it comes to Latif, though, he looked good at moments passing against UCLA, but I think at times got flustered against Penn State. Iowa got hurt. We've never seen him besides the UCLA game show that he is an efficient passer and can hit the downfield pass. And so I'm curious today, what Nebraska's attack is. If they're going to try to go quick hitters and down the field, if they try to take shots. It is a bowl game. You're not playing for the playoff. You don't have much to lose besides losing the game. It's like you cost yourself a chance at the playoff by losing this football game. So I would think you get creative offensively and see what you have, because you're still trying to assess your quarterback spot for next year. The portal opens in 3 days. Latif is a guy you want part of your plans, and you can't assess anything in terms of what happens today. But if he plays very poorly, you have to really be curious, how this is going to be attacked in that 2-week portal that opens up on Friday.
Well, you just said something really critical, too, about Nebraska's offense that we should mention. They're not going to have – Nebraska's going to be without an Isaiah Hunter. But, you're talking about throwing the ball downfield. You're talking about, deep balls. That's not Isaiah Hunter. And they don't have it. He got hand injury. So you'll see Quinn Clark a lot more today. And maybe you can get that big receiver down the field. But yeah, listen, you know how it is. Controlled environment. Like, the team was really good in Rose Bowl in that very perfect weather. Warm, ball felt like the ball felt thick. There was no wind. He looked really good throwing. Then it got a little rough, right? Then you got into you get into the real Big Ten, where you're playing at Wayne State, cold, it's just kind of tough conditions, and then against Iowa, Oregon, and he got hit early, he was affected by the hamstring and whatnot. Now the way I look at it is it's kind of the slate is wiped clean again for him. He's had time to recover. He's playing in this beautiful, indoor stadium. So I think he'll be able to put up some numbers like UCLA.
With that being said, is it time for our official prediction? SIP, Nebraska again, 14-point underdogs, trying to get an 8th win on the season and try to end a disgusting streak to ranked opponents at 29 losses right now in a row dating back to 2016. Does it happen today, or is it Utah's day with the first win under new head coach Morgan Scalley against Nebraska?
Well, you said it, Jake, and you're right. I think it is a high-scoring game that we're looking at. I just don't have faith in Nebraska's defense against this type of offense. That's really, Jake, it's really going to test the linebackers and DBs, particularly the safeties, eye discipline. They really do a lot to mess with your eye discipline. And I just think some busts, frankly. I just think Utah's offense is really well conceived. It's not just a simple we're pounding it at you offense. They can do that, but you're going to see a lot, Jake. You'll see a lot of innovative-looking plays that have been effective, and they got the guys to run them. So I'm going to say Utah 37, Nebraska, I think 28. Nebraska can score, but is what I think. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Utah wins. They don't cover. I mean, I can see them obviously covering and pulling away. But I think I said this morning 31-21. It might be higher scoring than that, but I think that's my score. Utah wins. It's an unfortunate loss for Nebraska, but I hope we're wrong and that Nebraska gets the big upset and we all go back to Nebraska happy campers. That'd be nice.
Are we doing a show Friday?
We are, from the studio.
Okay, so we're back. The stool's back together on Friday.
The stool's back together. And me and Swim did the show this morning at 4 a.m. this time.
Yeah, sorry I didn't join. I saw Swim got after me on social media.
Okay. Didn't expect it. You got a big day, so it's all right.
You're a good friend, Jake. So yeah, hey, it's been a long time since the school's been together, so I'm looking forward to Friday.
Yes, and Friday we got Nebraska basketball against Michigan State, so big show on Friday. But that's it for us for now. We'll pass it off to Nick Sander, also here in Las Vegas. He'll be on the field talking to Jay Foreman from the station. But Sip, we'll see you inside, and we'll see you also on Friday during the show.
God bless you, Jake.
All right. More of the pregame show next from Las Vegas here on 937 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You're listening to coverage of Nebraska football in the 2025 Las Vegas Bowl on 93.7 The Ticket. Bowl game coverage is sponsored by Advanced Medical Imaging, MWR Building and Fence, Ben Bleicher of Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, and Amigos Kings Classic. This is Nebraska football bowl game coverage on 93.7 The Ticket.
Winter is just around the corner. Is your vehicle ready? Don't get left out in the cold. At A1 Automotive, we prep your car for whatever winter throws your way here in Nebraska. For battery checks, brake inspections, tires, heaters, whatever your car needs to keep you and your family safe on the road, we've got you covered. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Amigos is serving up a brand new way to score the bold, fresh flavors you love with 8 affordable value meals. At $5 and $6, these meals are easy on the wallet, so treat yourself anytime. Sink into the new 3-cheese melt or taco melt, both stacked with crave-worthy flavor in every bite. There's crunchy taquito dippers, too, perfect for dunking in Amigos' famous ranch or spicy cheese. Big flavor, small price. Value meals at Amigos.
Stonebrook Exterior is your trusted partner in exterior solutions for both residential and commercial projects across Lincoln and Omaha. With over 2 decades of expertise, they deliver everything your building needs, all under one roof. From roofing and siding to gutters, wall systems, custom masonry, and metalwork, Stonebrook handles it all with precision, safety, and professionalism. Take the worry out of your exterior projects. Choose Stonebrook Exterior, where quality, safety, and service come together seamlessly. Visit stonebrookexterior.com or call 402-438-5559 to get your free quote today.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket immediately after every Nebraska men's basketball game for 1 hour of post-game recap. The Nebraska Basketball Postgame Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, and the Lincoln Airport on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Winter is just around the corner. Is your vehicle ready? Don't get left out in the cold. At A1 Automotive, we prep your car for whatever winter throws your way here in Nebraska. For battery checks, for brake inspections, tires, heaters, whatever your car needs to keep you and your family safe on the road, we've got you covered. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
The Kindler Hotel in downtown Lincoln is a boutique hotel experience unlike any other in the area. Their 45 well-appointed rooms take inspiration from the history of Lincoln. Their double queen rooms are great for guests traveling with family, and the suites are great for a business trip or romantic getaway. No trip to the Kindler is complete without a handcrafted cocktail from Boitano's Lounge on the main floor, with comfortable seating options both inside and on the outside patio. Book your room today at thekindlerhotel.com in Lincoln at 11th and P.
I'm Kirk Herbstreit, and today I'm eating Raising Cane's.
Herbstreit's in the drive-thru again. Oh, hey, Kirk. What can I get you today?
I want a solid bench of 4 chicken fingers that are real difference makers. Sprinkle cut fries with dynamic ridge patterns, Texas toast, and cane sauce with an air of smugness that comes from knowing you're the best. Now back to you, Todd.
So the usual.
Make Raising Cane's part of your game day lineup. One love.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show brought to you by Advanced Medical Imaging.
Foreman, Austin Orman, A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Our segment is brought to you by Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center. Offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient services, making it possible to have a non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. 402-261-1085 or AMIimaging.com. Do you hear that cackle in the background?
That's not a cackle. He hadn't cackled yet.
Didn't say a thing.
We heard you out there. You sound like a cat trying to get something, like an alley cat. How you doing,
Jay,
Nick?
you look good, man.
I know I do. You don't have to tell me. I know this. You know what I'm saying?
Is this really how it's going to be?
This is exactly how it's going to be. You know exactly where the line is drawn. This is exactly how 2025 is, and it's exactly how I'm bringing 2026 back in here. Now, we got business to handle next. Since you're down there and got the vibe.
Yeah.
What's the vibe down there, with Huskerland and Vegas? Is everybody excited? Everybody's, on pins and needles, or is it kind of a little bit in between?
Yeah, the Uber dropped us off about, 25 minutes ago or so, and Husker fans tailgating outside in the parking lot. So they are here. They're ready to go, and they're starting to set up. Nebraska just kind of met at midfield about 15 minutes ago, went back to the locker room, and now we're starting to see slowly but surely some players and walking around the field, warming up. Is the one new coach that's going to be with the team today? It's kind of something I'm watching with Jeep way down here.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, Nick. I think this game, normally you like it to be, steady Eddie, going into a bowl game. In 15 practices and essentially 3 new coaches, pretty much a new identity on offense and defense, whether it's directly or indirectly. Obviously, you have a new coordinator, 2 new offensive line coach, which then changes, what Dana Holgorsen is able to do, and with some possible injury guys not playing and obviously opting out. I think this is going to be an interesting game to see how Nebraska works in operational wise, right? And Lateef not really being able to really play to his capabilities against the Iowa game, and it's been a long time. You have just built-in rust of not being able to play. He didn't practice not majority, but at the beginning of the bowl prep, they kept him, pretty under wraps, and so the speed of the game is going to be different. And then you have a Utah team that you felt like they were going to be inspired with Coach Willingham's last game, but then they might be just as inspired with Scully's first game, even though they have some pretty prominent players sitting out. So I think line of scrimmage is going to be, the tell-all, not at the beginning of the game and about the middle of the second quarter on, to see who can continue to establish the line of scrimmage or reestablish it, make adjustments, which is going to be huge on both sides of the ball. And also, I want to know, I want your opinion on this. What team or what vibe have you gotten from maybe some of the players, or just kind of when you're down there? Will we see some trickery against Nebraska in a bowl game? Because I think that's when you're trying to get momentum. Obviously, you have experienced special team coaching, and obviously Mike Eckler feels, very capable of obviously dialing up some really good plays, or offensively to try to get that momentum and get that excitement on the Nebraska sideline.
Yeah, I think you're right. Can you guys hear Viva Las Vegas playing behind me?
We did for
Are
a
you guys
second.
able to hear that at all, or are we good?
Yeah, we did.
Okay,
Yeah,
good. Okay, good.
Simple
Okay,
thing.
well, anyway, they're playing it on loop nonstop. It's like New York last year with Frank Sinatra, New York, New York. And so we've been hearing Viva Las Vegas for the last 5 minutes on loop. But no, I think you're right, Jay. I think you're absolutely right. It's really interesting to think about. We know Isaiah Hunter probably not going to be available today, and so with that, I mean, Jay, you and I talk about it almost every week during the regular season. It was the conversation of, is this the Ja'Cory Barney game? Like, we've been waiting for Ja'Cory to kind of be out there, and whether it's in the vertical passing game or just explosive plays, we haven't from Ja'Cory. And the X's and O's way better than I do, obviously. And it's whether or not is it a Ja'Cory issue? Is it a scheming issue? I mean, maybe you can answer that a little bit better than I can. But this is a game where, like, if Nebraska wants to get this set, then they're going to have to probably use some guys that they didn't utilize a ton when TJ Lateef has been in. Luke Lindenmeyer, I see, is another one of those guys. And so you talked about trickery. I don't know. Is it really trickery, or is it just trying to utilize all the playmakers you have at the skill positions?
Yeah, it's probably a little bit of both. And you're right about Barney. It's probably a little bit of both. Of like, he needed to probably play and take advantage of some opportunities. There wasn't enough opportunities, but then also the third part is, Nick, I think when you have a really good freshman year, you're a focal point of the defense, or defense is coming in week in and week out because they know you're pretty dangerous. And so, and then also you have better talent around him, compared to last year, and nobody knew who he was, in the Big Ten wise last year. So things, changed significantly, and actually it's a compliment to his previous success. And so, it's growing pains when you come in as a freshman and have a pretty big impact on the offense. But then also you mentioned Luke Lindemeyer; those two have to be huge, along with the running back room. Initially, when the feeling out process goes, as far as what Coach Wade has implemented, going with the play calling, and who knows what this Utah pass rusher is going to be. Even though both of their pass rushers have opted out, one's in the portal, one's going pro, one's going in the portal. You still have to make sure that your offensive line is competent. And so that's where you need the checkdowns. That's where the confidence comes from, the pitching and catching, right? The check down to the running backs, emergency outlet to Luke Lindemeyer, taking advantage of an opportunity of Barney against a linebacker, or Snowden, their nickel, which is probably going to be the matchup for him. And so that's where it's going to be, a big onus on Dana Holgorsen, his first 15 plays, right? That's going to get the offense a lot of confidence. And I think what I guess what I viewed as trickery, as Nick, when you get in that, I call it the go zone, right, from the 40 to the 40, is not necessarily a trick play, but it is, because are we going to stretch the field vertically? So who would that be? Now, obviously Hunter by name would be that, right? Or do we try to throw more 50-50 balls to what we thought Dane Key would get a ton of opportunities to go and do, right? And he doesn't have to be open when you're a physical receiver, because they get themselves open by their skill set. So that's what I'm looking for, to see, what they've maybe changed or implemented with TJ Lateef. And obviously I think he throws, here's my opinion. I think the two biggest differences between TJ and Dylan, right? In the running is known, right? Obviously you've seen him run. So that's a known. So one, I think Dylan has more experience and is able to maybe get the intermediate passes out of his hands quicker, right? Playing pitch and catch, obviously having a 70% completion percentage. But I think TJ Lateef right now, skill set wise, has maybe throws a deep ball a little bit better. And so that's where it's going to be interesting to see what Coach Rule and company does with that, because with the Utah team that's coming in averaging 40-some points, 6 yards a carry, second leading team in rushing, and a complementary passing game with their veteran quarterback and all their skill guys back, you're going to have to be able to push the envelope a little bit to try to keep and get control of this game.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. I mean, it's going to be really interesting. The TJ Lateef conversation is just really, I mean, obviously it's the main storyline. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, pretty decent. Yeah.
Or is it bad?
Oh, we got
okay.
you.
Because if I need to hang up, I can. But no, I think, I mean, obviously the TJ Lateef storyline is going to be the number one thing that dominates today. I mean, Jay, just from a big picture standpoint, we know Nebraska's had conversations with transfer portal quarterbacks. Maybe not, I guess, because the portal hasn't opened. But that they have their eyes on some of them that have have reported to want to enter the portal and stuff on Friday when it officially opens. And so, I mean, like TJ Lateef isn't numb to that. He's not. I mean, he understands that they're probably looking around and shopping and thinking about bringing in somebody else for competition. And he's been asked about it, but he has never shied away. And so I think today's a big day. All these guys, Jay, I mean, I said this to Jake earlier this week, as I talked about how all these guys that are on the roster now, and you could probably dive a little bit deeper into this, they have an advantage over everybody else that Nebraska is going to be bringing in, to where they've had the multiple weeks of bowl prep practice, but then also the ability to play today. And maybe I'm wrong on that, but if I'm some of these guys that might be up in the air about whether they want to be here or somewhere else next year, or if there's going to be somebody else that's brought in at their position, look at today as an opportunity to kind of use it as a springboard into that depth chart conversation for 2026.
Yeah, I mean, it's a the night before sleep was obviously drastically different than a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Going into Iowa or going into Penn State. Obviously those are big games, right? But it's obviously a more team-oriented big game, right? Now you're going into say, okay, what could happen when or if I get the opportunities to play well. Look at Emmett Johnson last year. Everybody could look at that, and that's kind of, everybody looks at the portal, how that always works. It could work if you really get the opportunity and take advantage of it. TJ Lateef is right at the top of that list. But I'd also push back and say, listen, as much as we're evaluating TJ Lateef and know that, hey, he has potential, there's schools out there that know the same thing. So you have to really, tread water softly, as my man Jackie Chan used to say, is because don't think TJ Lateef's DMs aren't being lit up. So you have to make sure you evaluate them, re-recruit them, nurture them, and then it's also in conjunction with who you're recruiting as well through the portal. And the best thing about TJ Lateef, and you can tell it was a very natural and organic answer when they asked him about it. He's like, I don't mind competition, bring it on. That's a guy, when you have that type of mentality, and as a young guy, and it's natural, that's what you can build around. Bring it on. You want me to earn it? I'll show you. And so I think he's excited for this game. I think the team, the guys around him, the guys that are going to be, skill position guys or whatever, we've seen it. They're going to be excited for him. I think Nebraska's going to give him they need to pull all stops so you can get a fair evaluation of him. But, also, Nick, let's flip to that defensive side, right? Just real quick before we get up out of here. Actually, we got more time, but we got about 5 minutes. Is the same thing as on defense. We switched to a defensive coordinators. Phil Snow said we're going to probably be more in four-man fronts. The guys are playing different positions. You talk about Cam Linhart, Keona Davis, Riley Van Poppel, Williams Nweri. They're in the same position as TJ Lateef. Even Vincent Shavers. Yeah, you guys might have got re-upped and all that, but we don't even know when that really starts. But all you guys have something to prove, and there's guys in the portal at your position that in some cases are more productive, that probably has Nebraska either on their radar or or they're on Nebraska's radar. Talk about that defensively, because the excitement from practice is one thing. Going to the game is drastically different.
Well, I mean, I don't know how much we can actually expect, obviously, the defense to look different. I think that there's something to be said about. I've kept using the example of last year in the Pinstripe Bowl, Jay. We saw Donovan Jones kind of burst onto the scene, and I think today is a day where it's okay. Obviously, Justin Rhett's been the one that's been talked about extensively this week. But it's more so of, okay, who else is going to be there? In addition to a Cam Linhart, considering red shirts don't matter, do we see Willis McGahee IV come on and make some plays today? We talked about, using this as a springboard into 2026. Elijah Judy's about to walk by here in the next 30 seconds or so. And it's this is the last game for them, but man, there's some major opportunities for some of those younger guys that whether they didn't have opportunities this year because of red shirts or for whatever reason, since this game doesn't count against it, this is one where you can create some real buzz around you. And sometimes, this, Jay, all guys need, whether that's a new voice in the room, whether that's a new perspective, whatever it is, just somebody to give them a chance. And so, granted, does Nebraska want to win this game? Absolutely. There's going to be a lot of Husker fans here as they start to fill into the stadium. I project, 20 to 25,000. I think that's been a common belief for the amount of Husker fans. But it's a matter of you want to win the game, sure, but this is when you can really talk about some younger guys that maybe we haven't been able to see yet.
Yeah, I think it's a must win, Nick. And yes, you have to. I think you got to do both, and that's the hard thing to do. But everybody's in this position if you're not in the college football playoffs, and so it has to be aesthetically pleasing, and you got to see growth. And it's only been 2 weeks of practices, or obviously 15 practices. It's a must perform game. This is actually probably good for these guys to get. These bowl games now are spring games. I don't know what's going to happen in the spring with their actual spring game. We saw it last year, wasn't it? This is actually their spring game because you're going to approach it like that, but you want to win. You get actually a bigger and better spring game because you're on national TV and you're going against a live opponent. But you're going to play a lot of guys. They know they're going to play. You see how they're going to react. But I think when you talk about putting on Front Street, because we're just looking at all these Husker fans trying to get downtown to a local bar to watch Nebraska here at 2:30. You talk about Riley Van Poppel, number one. That's the ace boom coon. That's the guy that's live on stage. Who are you and what are you going to be? Now you're going to be playing a position where you could be effective. Him. And then right behind him, Vincent Shavers. Because now you got to be that dude because it's questionable whether Jamin Wright's going to play. So now it's you. It's your defense now, you two. And then you think about, we already kind of know what Williams Nwaneri is going to do. Now it's also very crucial for Cam Linhart too. Where do you fit in the mix? And the back end is kind of set, right? You think you got Rhett and all those guys. It's only one, and he's played some. So it's not as much as Donovan Jones out of nowhere. It's the Riley Van Poppel, because if you can do that, then the conversations around the team and the defense in particular but not being big enough or good enough are not put to the side, they're lessened. So then therefore you can spend more time maybe on the offensive line or whatever it is because you feel good because you know you have somebody you can count on. And a lot of these guys are, unfortunately and fortunately, you walk in that line, boy, where this might be the last time that you play with the Nebraska, with the Nebraska uniform. But you could turn this game into years and years of not only, foundation, for yourself, but make a name for yourself moving forward, because it's a pivotal year next year. It starts right now. Like you said, Nick, you can really, really cement yourself in there, by having a good performance here in the next 3 or 4 hours.
Jay, what's the prediction, my friend? What happens here? Earlier today with AD, I predicted a somewhere in the 27 or 27, 28 to 21 ball game. I think Utah gets it done, but I wouldn't be surprised if Nebraska gets it. I'm concerned about Devin Dampier. I mean, we went full 20 minutes here without talking about mobile quarterback that can hurt you through the air and on the ground, and that's been Nebraska's bugaboo for quite a while now.
Yeah. I think, well, and the reason why, I mean, obviously Dampier's the guy, and then we've been talking about him all week, and I'm sure you have, and on your show. But really, this is a Nebraska against Nebraska game, to be honest with you. My prediction is this. I think it's going to be – I have a prediction Utah's going to play bad. Yeah, I think they're going to play bad. So I think Nebraska is going to – this game is going to be 23-20 Huskers. Ugly game. Not even an aesthetically pleasing game. 23-20. Huskers get off the snide. Can't even right?
Jay, I tell you what is aesthetically pleasing is freaking Allegiant Stadium. This place is unreal, man. This place is unreal. Way better than Yankee Stadium football field last year. Last year there was puddles in the end zone. Here, everything is incredible.
Oh yeah, they played an NFL game. Welcome to the NFL life, Nick. We are extremely happy that you and Jake are down there. You know what I'm saying? We cannot be more pleased that you and Jake are down there having the time of your life.
We don't need to have this conversation.
We did. We want to make sure that everybody knows it. But we appreciate you guys, your coverage, calling in, Nick. Hopefully we can hear from you after the game. We're going to get up out of here, let you guys go do your thing. Slap Jake upside the head for us, everybody. A couple times, actually, for Jake, because it's almost New Year. But all
right, he's standing right next to me, so we'll get you out of here.
Yeah. A1 Automotive pregame show. Advanced Medical Imaging, Jay Foreman, Nick Sainer in Austin. We'll be right back.
You're listening to coverage of Nebraska football in the 2025 Las Vegas Bowl on 93.7 The Ticket. Bowl game coverage is sponsored by Advanced Medical Imaging, MWR Building and Fence, Ben Bleicher of Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, and Amigos Kings Classic. This is Nebraska football bowl game coverage on 93.7 The Ticket.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Stonebrook Exterior is your trusted partner in exterior solutions for both residential and commercial projects across Lincoln and Omaha. With over 2 decades of expertise, they deliver everything your building needs, all under one roof. From roofing and siding to gutters, wall systems, custom masonry, and metalwork, Stonebrook handles it all with precision, safety, and professionalism. Take the worry out of your exterior projects. Choose Stonebrook Exterior, where quality, safety, and service come together seamlessly. Visit stonebrookexterior.com or call 402-438-5559 to get your free quote today.
Winter is just around the corner. Is your vehicle ready? Don't get left out in the cold. At A1 Automotive, we prep your car for whatever winter throws your way here in Nebraska. For battery checks, brake inspections, tires, heaters, whatever your car needs to keep you and your family safe on the road, we've got you covered. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Nebraska farmers, harvest is here and every gallon counts. That's why Sap Brothers Petroleum launched the Go Big Red Fuel Giveaway. When you contract your fuel with Sap Brothers, enter to win $1,000 in fuel credits. As Husker Country knows, the only thing stronger than the roar at Memorial Stadium is the drive of a farmer putting food on the table. Fuel your farm with Sap Brothers Petroleum and enter to win $1,000 in fuel credits. Visit sapbros.net today. Sap Brothers Petroleum, fueling the heartland. Go Big Red.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their contact us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by the Kindler Hotel.
Welcome back to the A1 Automotive pregame tailgate party. I'm Terrell Farley. I'm with
Todd Euler.
All right. And this segment is brought to you by the Kindler Hotel.
Yeah.
If you've never been to the Kindler Hotel, try it out. They also have the Baitano Lounge in there if you want to sit on the patio and have a drink. Now to the game, Utah.
To the game.
Utah, man.
What we've been waiting for 4 weeks.
A lot of great games over the last couple of days, man.
More to come.
Yeah. I've also watching the Iowa and who is that? Vandy right now. And that's a good game.
Yeah,
Iowa looks good.
Yeah.
Iowa look good.
Yeah,
all right, Todd, we got Utah, new coach and everything. Matt Rule and the boys been out there a couple of days. They did their festivities. Now it's time for the football activities. When I say that, football activities, it's time for Nebraska to prove us wrong and show that they can hang with this Utah team. Big line, couple of guys opted out on their offensive line, defensive end opted out. Mostly still the team is intact, but a new coach, new face in town for those. I think they'll play hard for this guy. But on Nebraska, we have some shoes to make up too.
Yeah. Emmett Johnson.
Yeah.
That's going to be a tough one. This comes down to, can we stop the run and can we run the ball, in my opinion. And I've been to practices. I've watched Mekhi Nelson run the ball. I think with the limited amount of carry, I think this could be a breakout game for him potentially. I'm hoping that's my dream is that Mekhi shows up and actually I'm telling you guys, watching this kid in practice, he's the real deal. We just haven't seen it in a game yet. And I'm hoping today we don't really have anybody else to turn to, that he maybe gets over his stage fright or something. I don't know what he's got there, but it seems like every time, he did have a couple decent runs, but once again, it's hard to get into a rhythm as a running back and you're only getting a couple carries a game, right? So, and I think that's going to be huge. And can we stop the run? These guys are going to run it at us and run it at us and run it at us. So new defensive coordinator's got his hands full with that. I know talking with Trent, he absolutely loves the new defensive coordinator. And Trent says the vibe on the team is just different right now in a really positive way. So I'm hoping that carries over. I still don't necessarily trust us to beat a ranked team, a team that's never beat us. I hate that is a now out there. This Utah has never beat Nebraska. We won a bowl game last year. We're 500 in bowl games, so that means that I don't know, man. It as many years as we've been watching this stuff happen, it just doesn't feel like it's our time. But maybe today's the day that we flip the switch.
Well, Nebraska's defense is going to have their hands full when we talk about a rushing attack. This team right here scored 37 touchdowns, led by Wayshawn Parker. And also quarterback Devin Dampier. Now, Devin Dampier is now coming back. He's 100%. But we're talking about a guy on the outside that's now 100%. When I talk about TJ Lateef, TJ has to show us that he could take command of this offense right here. And when we talk about that part, he's auditioning for next year's job right here with this game right here because the transfer portal opens Friday. So he has to take command of this team. I'm not asking them to go out there and do things differently. I want you to still play the same, play with more intensity, play with more that you want to win the game. Don't give up so early when I say that part of Nebraska, because when we get down to teams, I feel like we letting the gas up off teams too early, and it costs us later on in the game. But, TJ Lateef and the running backs, and still, we still got great receivers. I think Luke Lindemeyer might play a big factor in this game. But when you talk about Utah and what they bring to the table, this is a chance for Nebraska to upset the number 15 team in the nation, and to go into off season with your head on right. Go into off season with you can play with anybody in the country when you talk about this game here today.
Yeah, I think it would also be Matt Rule's 20th win. If he loses, he's 19-19. So, I think it's there's a lot on the line today. People want to talk about, Notre Dame opting out and some of this stuff. This is a big game for Husker football and for all of us fans, for all of us ex-players, that want to see Nebraska rise back up to what it used to be. This is a big game. We need to take it to them. We need to be the more physical team, and we haven't seen that the last two games by any means. And I think the talent's there. I really do. Changing some coaches up and changing the offensive line up a bit, I think we're going to see a little different team than we saw against Penn State and against Iowa for sure. So it's going to be fun to watch.
All right, I hope so. When we talk about what we need to do to win this game, I think we need to match physicality with physicality. I think we need to be smart, keep your eyes open, pay attention. I think we need to hustle. I think if we win special teams, I think we might have a shot at this game. They're not that great at special teams, but watching Ja'Cory Barney talk about it all week, and it seems like that gives us an upper hand in the special teams department. Offense has to click on all cylinders. We have to find that one guy that can at least do half of what Emmett did, because
at least
Emmett was 83% of your offense. And when you take him out, now you're dealing with a 14% chance of guys who haven't ran the ball over 10 times a game. So we'll have to see how the rotation goes. Defensively, play smart football. Don't
play assignment football, right?
Play smart football. Don't go wild. Wrap up, make tackles. Don't try to do anything fancy, and just you had your couple of days to enjoy out there. Now it's business time, and the next hour you should be trying to go out there and earn that paycheck.
They have had fun out there.
Yeah,
I know that. Trent has called me every night and said, "Dad, it's pretty cool out here."
Yeah, so, I wouldn't want to live out there, but it's cool.
It's cool to visit. But yeah,
it's game time. It'll be interesting to see how they've prepped for this. And once again, it's a kind of, like you said, a precursor to next year for us. If they come out and they're flat, that's just going to be flat for the fans, right? We need to come out and show some intensity, and that this team can beat a ranked team for the first time since I don't know when, long time. That's a lot of things on the line today. So go Big Red, man.
All right, man. Score predictions for you. What you thinking?
Yeah, I haven't picked against Nebraska yet this year, so I don't know. I'm feeling like I should pick against them, and maybe that'll turn the tides. But I do feel a little more confident about our defense against these guys than I did before the changing of the guards at defensive coordinator. But I just don't know if we have the running game, and that's going to be the big question mark. Because without a running game, TJ's a dead duck back there.
Yeah.
Dead man
walking.
It's dead man walking. And so I'm going to go. I'm going to go 28-27 Utah, I think.
All right.
I'm going to pick against us the first time this year.
All right.
I am praying I'm wrong.
You probably got one of the closest
28-27
score predictions that we're going to have today. Me, myself, I'll go Utah 42-15. Okay. So, we still have a long way to go, but this is good to end the season out playing a top team and see how you go out and see where you measure yourself, because in a couple of days, like I said, transfer portal open up. But let's get ready for the day. This segment right here is brought to you by Kindler Lounge. Todd Euler, Terrell Farley. Thank you, Austin. We're out.
Go Big Red.
You're listening to coverage of Nebraska football in the 2025 Las Vegas Bowl on 93.7 The Ticket. Bowl game coverage is sponsored by Advanced Medical Imaging, MWR Building and Fence, Ben Bleicher of Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, and Amigos Kings Classic. This is Nebraska football bowl game coverage on 93.7 The Ticket. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
The Kindler Hotel in downtown Lincoln is a boutique hotel experience unlike any other in the area. Their 45 well-appointed rooms take inspiration from the history of Lincoln. Their double queen rooms are great for guests traveling with family, and the suites are great for a business trip or romantic getaway. No trip to the Kindler is complete without a handcrafted cocktail from Boitano's Lounge on the main floor, with comfortable seating options both inside and on the outside patio. Book your room today at thekindlerhotel.com in Lincoln at 11th and P.
There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate.
I'm Kirk Herbstreit, and today I'm eating Raising Cane's.
Herbstreit's in the drive-thru again. Oh, hey, Kirk. What can I get you today?
I want a solid bench of 4 chicken fingers that are real difference makers. Sprinkle cut fries with dynamic ridge patterns, Texas toast, and cane sauce with an air of smugness that comes from knowing you're the best. Now back to you, Todd.
So the usual.
Make Raising Cane's part of your game day lineup. One love.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Score big with rebates up to $2,000 on the Kawasaki Nav, Kawasaki's first ever fully electric personal transportation vehicle designed for cruising the good life. Be the first to nav your neighborhood. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location, where they can't wait to get you set up for football season.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Need to save some cash but still want peace of mind? Well, then head over to Schaefer's Clearance Outlet at 48th and R. There you'll find hundreds of appliances, scratch and dent, one-of-a-kind, home returns, or refurbished, and they're all covered by full manufacturer warranties. That means big savings without giving up protection or confidence. So if you're ready for new appliances and want to keep more money in your wallet, visit Schaefer's Clearance Outlet Wednesdays 4 to 7 and Saturdays 9 to noon at 48th and R.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their contact us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day, because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show, brought to you by Elway Power Sports of Lincoln.
That's right. Welcome back into the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Austin Orman here, DP out there. This segment, as you just heard, brought to you by Elway Power Sports of Lincoln. It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership, stocking top models from Can-Am, Kawasaki, Honda, Polaris, CF Moto, Suzuki, Yamaha, Indian Motorcycle, Sea-Doo, and Triton trailers. Stop by their 27th and I-80 location today. Field level, there he is, boss man DP. What's good, DP?
Hey, I've got it behind me. I want you to see some of the glory that is what's happening here at Reliant. A big part of this, Austin, is kind of looking at the new pregame stuff, right? Mm-hmm. New coaches, new group leaders, new front of the line guys, and watching all of this play out has been pretty exceptional. I've seen Adam Carricker, of course, Nick and Jake just went down to the other side to join Steve Sipple and take a look at Utah. And I told him, there's a rule. There's a rule I have as a coach. Pay so little attention to your opponents because you can tell stories to yourself that aren't even true, and you end up chasing ghosts. Don't do that. Stay down on the Nebraska end. Know your people, because what's happening at that other end, there are some large, violent men wearing that red you might not want to know about. So that's what's happening here early, is just watching. Is filling up tons of red. Huskers with the black. Utah will come with the crimson red, or more appropriately, the Zion Cinder red, code red. That is a Utah color. Yeah, it's a Utah crimson. All different. They say And I'll let Husker fans and ticket fans fight about it. They said technically, based on the spectrum, their red shines brighter. So them fighting words here in Las Vegas.
Nebraska had that slogan for a while, our red burns brightest, what have you. DP, Utah's red has certainly burned brighter in the day and age of college football as recent youth with a 10-win season. We know you've got some familiarity with that program and how it operates. You mentioned some large, violent men on the other side for Utah. They proved it pretty much all year. Nebraska seems like it's in that mode of convincing itself. It can be, or it needs to be, large, violent men. As you look at Nebraska, you get the vibe from the Huskers. Do you think that that's a team that's prepared to be large, be violent for 60 minutes against a formidable Big 12 foe today?
Well, in the walk up to today, even here in Vegas, a lot of the conversations with the Huskers was that I think they are, right? I don't know. I would never profess to know it, but they think they're ready to be as violent as required. Maybe more violent and more physical than they've been all season. Some of that's new coaches at the top of it. Line coaches kind of dictate the physicality of teams on either side of the ball and on special teams. So play it out. You've got some new big beef leadership, so maybe you'll have big beef energy. I think that's the plan on both sides of the ball. No matter what, Utah has questions in its coaching lineup. It has questions on its player loyalty. The reason why people are playing. Are you playing for Utah? Are you playing for Michigan? Are you playing for the transfer portal? That's what's happening on that side. And on the Nebraska side, what are you playing for? Are you playing for Matt Rule? Are you playing for your best image? Are you playing for your teammates? What are you playing for? We're going to get answers. I mean, that's what happens at bowl games. You get more answers. I say the State of the Union is judged by the number of questions you have about your program. Going into the day, we have a lot of questions. Hopefully, at last whistle, we have more answers, more positive answers about this Nebraska team.
A key 2025, all but in the books, just one game to go for the Huskers. 2026 is on tap, another pivotal year for the program. Seems like there's not a year that goes by where it's not a big year in Husker football. DP, it seems like Nebraska is treating this bowl game as one with the stakes that you mentioned. Is there a player? Is there a position group? Is there a coach that you think has a lot at stake as they start the State of the Union for them, their position group, or their standing on the roster?
Well, I'm from the school of coaching that it's win every day. Every group has to be the group on the field. That's a responsibility as a coach. Now, in a game situation, it doesn't change. It doesn't change. We'll have either a very good offseason or a very bad one based on today. And if you need more motivation than that, listen, it's one thing to say you're going to be physical. That's a challenge to yourself and them. But to be good and be effective, to actually execute, all the talk stuff is done, man. The next time they come out of this locker room, they're going to have to get to work. And every coach, your resume will be judged by, as the Janet Jackson song says, what have you done for me lately? And if you can't figure out a way to beat the best football team that you faced all year in the Utah Utes, then you will leave and spend a long, cold winter answering questions and trying to find answers about what happened here today. That's what this is. This will set the table for until spring game, we won't have any more data. Until July, we won't have any more data. For 7 months, we'll be set up on what happens today, and every coach, every player, every single one better put their best shoes on and get to fighting, because this should be a scrap. And if you need motivation to scrap, well, they're standing on the other side of the stadium wearing really, really bright crimson red.
That they are. The last time Nebraska was in Vegas for postseason DP, it went pretty well. That was for Nebraska men's basketball. They win their 4 games in 7 days, and they take home the college basketball crown. Some view it as a springboard to the season that Nebraska is having now. The first 4 wins in what is now a 17-game win streak for the Nebraska men's basketball program. Do you view this Las Vegas Bowl opportunity against Utah as one that could be a similar springboard for this football program?
Austin, it absolutely is. Like, I mean, forget about this being the launching point. The last time they were here, we talked at the Crown. This is the coronation for whatever your offseason. Whatever happens today will be the identity of this program until they get to suit up again in Memorial Stadium next year. Listen, it can be a very positive thing. You can learn some good things, or you can learn some terrible lessons. Not saying that it will be, be the full identity, but listen, that last taste in your mouth, that last rip, that last forklift, that last tackle, that last score will carry you through. And it has meaning. That's why you want to be here. That's why you want a bowl game. That's why you want the extra practices. You want an opportunity to make a final statement for 2025, headed into 26. This is who I am. This is who we are. And this is Nebraska football. We will find out more today. I'm looking forward to it.
As you should be. It's a fantastic game on tap between two programs that don't cross paths a whole lot. Utah may be a model for what Husker fans want to see the Nebraska program turn into. Big game for Nebraska. They're 7-5 in the regular season after a 6-6 regular season last year. DP, you mentioned the bad taste in the mouth. Certainly should be in the mouths of Husker players as it is in the mouths of Husker fans with the way that November ended. Road loss to Penn State, home loss to Iowa. Nebraska got run over, around, and through every which way. The hope for me is that Nebraska, remembers that bad taste. They've washed it out. They got their mouth washed, swish some water around, get it out, but that they don't forget it. I talked with Jay about this yesterday on Old School. Who's the edge for Nebraska? Not just the player that lines up on the edges, the edge rusher. We know that positionally, but who brings the nasty? Who doesn't let the guys on the sideline forget how bad it felt to lose to Penn State and to lose to Iowa, and to bring a different attitude here to this game today?
Well, we were standing, Jake and I were standing down here on the side. I'm watching the offensive linemen get through it. And there's one thing that jumps out at you, Austin. Nebraska has a dude. His name's Elijah Pritchett on one side of the ball. That, quite frankly, the moment's not too big. Right? He's athletic. He's physical. He's strong. And in a matchup, in a physical matchup square, that may be a point of advantage for Nebraska. That may be, you got to find somebody, whether it's Rocco, whether it's Tyler, or whether it's Elijah Pritchett. You got to find somebody that gets the win today. Like somebody that, 3rd and 2, 4th and 1, short yardage, red zone. Who can we run behind with the most confidence, with evidence that he's going to get the win? Because we don't know who's carrying the ball behind him. We don't have a real idea. But we do know who's going to be blocking for him. And if you can find a win, and I think that may be the move because he got out here early. He's been working. He's been consistent. He's been purposeful. That looks good for me. On the other side, I think we forget often. I was talking earlier to Bach about Javen Wright, that this is a game where he can make a play or two that will change. That one, it'll get this Nebraska defense off the field. But 2, could flip the field. 3, could get them an extra possession. That may be the difference between this being a competitive game or a win for Nebraska. So on the edge, you can move them around. Pritchett on one side, Javen Wright on the other. I think we have some opportunities. Now, you still got to make plays because in a fight, nobody cares about your resume.
They do not. The only resume you have is the one that you put on the field here for 60 minutes. DP, you bring up Tyler Knack. That's a guy that's going to get his first career start as an upperclassman that's been in both programs. He started his career at Utah, transferred in, has played some spot duty at Nebraska. What do you think a game like this with his two schools on the same field means for a guy like Tyler Knack making his first career start?
Well, he was talking, and his family was talking while here about the priority and focus and motivation behind this game. This is one that he circled, and then athletes will tell you we shouldn't make anything bigger than it is. But this is home. This is against his homies. And there are several Utah players that have played against guys from Utah, so they're familiar. But for Tyler Knack, I think the thing is, one, it's a chance for him to plant his flag in the starting position and say that, hey, of all the things you're going to have to worry about in the offseason, don't worry about me. I got this, and this is mine. Also, the resume part after this will matter because it's what carries you into the offseason. Again, what you do in season is much shorter, a much smaller window than that offseason. And you allow minds to be curious about, hey, is there a better option than me at this position? You don't want that conversation to happen. You don't even want that thought to happen. You want them to know. You want every Husker coach to know. Tyler's a 1A guy. We don't have to worry about anything else.
You mentioned a guy like Javen Wright on the other side of the ball then as well. I think any of the linebackers in that room have the opportunity to make a name for themselves, whether it's, Vincent Shavers or Jacob Bauer in that room. Defensive line, new position coach, guys have been in and out. DP, another guy that I'm going to be really curious to watch, Marquise Buford, single digit, is voted on by the team and then anointed as such by his coaches early in the year. Guy that played a lot of football for Nebraska, got injured or banged up to where he couldn't play, lost his job to a freshman in Rex Guthrie. But Nebraska is down to Sean Singleton. So it sounds like Marquise Buford back in the starting lineup. Matt Rule said, he might not have been playing, but he never lost his job, never abdicated his role as a single digit and as a leader on the team. What are you expecting to see from a guy like Marquise Buford as he returns to extensive action against Utah today?
Well, if anybody said to you, Austin, that I thought Marquise Buford had Sunday talent, right? That he could be a special teams guy, get in, figure out he's a multi-position guy defensively, so they know you can move him around. There's some flexibility and versatility there. But listen, this is where you build your legend. This is it. And listen, if this is going to be the last time he straps him up, you better damn sure believe he wants to make a play. I almost got hit by a field goal attempt here. That was a kickoff. Well done. Well done. No, I think it's important, Austin, that we pay attention to, and I'm ducking footballs now. I think it's important for us to pay attention to those legacy guys, those guys that stayed and were good Nebraska team guys. Mm-hmm. You want to root for him today. You want to root loudly for him today because, again, he could have made a mess of it. He could have been a nuisance. He could have been a distraction. He wasn't. Today's his day. Let him shine. Let him cook. That's what I say. Let him cook.
One of the last things then for you, DP, you mentioned the legacy guys. Matt Rule points back a lot to his first team and the guys that he flew out to the Pinstripe Bowl last year as the guys that he's always going to be appreciative of in his time at Nebraska. Those guys have a legacy in his mind. Last year's team, a bunch of guys that stuck around as well and then got Nebraska's first bowl win in a long time. Another chance for this team, right, whether it's the individual players or the team as a whole, to leave its mark. Nebraska now in a 26-game losing streak against ranked opponents, a team that plays a Big Ten sort of style, certainly with the way Utah wants to approach the game. It's a meaningful game for Nebraska. There's a lot of players with a lot on the line. It's a program with a lot on the line. If you look at the building blocks that stuck around for Matt Rule in year one, that developed into the guys that won the first bowl game for Matt Rule in year two, the legacy on the line here for these players and coaches in year three, this is the team that got Nebraska off the schneid against ranked teams and proved that, hey, this could be a turning point for the future.
Well, this has to be, right? Like, I'm not wrong. This has to be a turning point game and a result.
You still have your DP.
Sorry, we got dropped there for a minute. We had some traffic here, Austin Orman. Yeah, it's a legacy day for Nebraska. Let's be clear. Every coach, every player, Matt Rule, this is big for him, right? Because you're being measured by a standard. This is a team that was one win away from being in the playoffs. Style of recruiting, type of recruiting, areas of recruiting. It may also help identify the type of player that Matt Rule wants going forward, and it may help him move away from some folks. So, yeah, this is one of those big days. The culture, the identity, the personality, all those things, and most importantly, the direction. The direction of this program will be determined today, this afternoon. We'll know more in about 4.5 hours.
1 hour away from kickoff, 4.5 hours, like you said, DP, away from the end of another season in Nebraska football. Another hour pregame to go. DP, glad you've enjoyed your time in Vegas. Enjoy the game, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you all, Thurman. Have a great day. Have a happy New Year. Oh, yeah, those 3 words we love so much. Go Big Red.
Go Big Red. Another 3 great words. Thank you, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln for being the segment sponsor here. It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership, stocking up on top models from Can-Am, Kawasaki, Honda, Polaris, CF Moto, Suzuki, Yamaha, Indian Motorcycles, Sea-Doo, and Triton Trailers. You can stop by Elway Power Sports of Lincoln's 27th and I-80 location today. AD in next. He's with me. It's AD. It's AO. It's pregame coverage. A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Nebraska in the Las Vegas Bowl. Next on the ticket.
You're listening to coverage of Nebraska football in the 2025 Las Vegas Bowl on 93.7 The Ticket. Bowl game coverage is sponsored by Advanced Medical Imaging, MWR Building and Fence, Ben Bleicher of Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, and Amigos Kings Classic. This is Nebraska football bowl game coverage on 93.7 The Ticket.
Husker fans know when you work together, great things happen. At Cornhusker Bank, they're more than your financial partner. With 5 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Omaha, they're your neighbors, your teammates, and your biggest fans. Whether you're saving for your first home, planning your future, or growing your business, they're right here in Nebraska to help you move forward together. Visit cornhusker.bank to learn more. Cornhusker Bank, member FDIC, doing life together.
Stonebrook Exterior is your trusted partner in exterior solutions for both residential and commercial projects across Lincoln and Omaha. With over 2 decades of expertise, they deliver everything your building needs, all under one roof. From roofing and siding to gutters, wall systems, custom masonry, and metalwork, Stonebrook handles it all with precision, safety, and professionalism. Take the worry out of your exterior projects. Choose Stonebrook Exterior, where quality, safety, and service come together seamlessly. Visit stonebrookexterior.com or call 402-438-5559 to get your free quote today.
Winter is just around the corner. Is your vehicle ready? Don't get left out in the cold. At A1 Automotive, we prep your car for whatever winter throws your way here in Nebraska. For battery checks, to brake inspections, tires, heaters, whatever your car needs to keep you and your family safe on the road, we've got you covered. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket immediately after every Nebraska men's basketball game for 1 hour of post-game recap. The Nebraska Basketball Postgame Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, and the Lincoln Airport on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Nebraska fans, it might be a road game today, but the party is still on in downtown Lincoln. Big Ten Sports Bar is your ultimate spot to catch Nebraska football and volleyball, with every game on, every screen, all day long. Doors open bright and early at 9 a.m. Grab breakfast, stay for the game, and keep the night going with full kitchen open until midnight. Big Ten Sports Bar, downtown Lincoln's home for Nebraska sports, bands, good food, and drinks.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Amigos is serving up a brand new way to score the bold, fresh flavors you love with 8 affordable value meals. At $5 and $6, these meals are easy on the wallet, so treat yourself anytime. Sink into the new 3-cheese melt or taco melt, both stacked with crave-worthy flavor in every bite. There's crunchy taquito dippers, too. Perfect for dunking in Amigos' famous ranch or spicy cheese. Big flavor, small price. Value meals at Amigos.
The Kindler Hotel in downtown Lincoln is a boutique hotel experience unlike any other in the area. Their 45 well-appointed rooms take inspiration from the history of Lincoln. Their double queen rooms are great for guests traveling with family, and the suites are great for a business trip or romantic getaway. No trip to the Kindler is complete without a handcrafted cocktail from Boitano's Lounge on the main floor, with comfortable seating options both inside and on the outside patio. Book your room today at thekindlerhotel.com in Lincoln at 11th and P.
There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Raising Cane's.
Folks, welcome back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Utah versus Nebraska coming up in an hour on the dot. Good to be here with Austin. It was good to hear DP and Nick and Jay and the guys and Jake as well, obviously with Jake and DP and Nick down up and over in Nevada. In Vegas. Folks, this segment is brought to you by Raising Cane's. This holiday season, make any holiday get-together a celebration with Raising Cane's when you bring tailgates of chicken fingers and Cane's signature cane sauce. And don't forget the jugs of freshly brewed tea and freshly squeezed lemonade. There's no need to stress this season. You can order your favorite chicken fingers on the go at RaisingCanes.com. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love. Austin A.O., my man, how you doing, brother?
Great, AD. Long time no see.
It's been about a whole, 2 hours? Give or take?
Oh, gosh. Yeah, two and a half?
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm going to publicly, on the air, thank you for saying AD. I was seeing a little bit. I was like, huh?
What do you mean?
I totally
you hit me with the what you talking about, Willis.
Yeah, what you talking about, Willis? What you talking about, Austin? I totally forgot about the pregame show. I mean, Austin, I woke up this morning and for about 5-10 seconds, I was like, okay, is the game today or tomorrow? And and not only that, what is today?
Right. what even is day?
Brother, it's been all blurry and all over the place for me, man.
Am I to take that to mean that you need to have a teammate just like, how do you want to leash when we went on bowl trips? AD, we got practice at this time. AD, curfews this time. Come on.
I really didn't know if I was there or not most of the time. Gotta have my own curfew.
Right.
Hence why I didn't play much. Long as I was there for scout team, I was good, baby. Well, folks, we know Nebraska takes on Utah here at 2:30. Game is coming up very quickly. Austin, initial thoughts on this game. If we were both sitting in the booth, which we're sitting in our own booth here at 1040 O Street at the mothership, but if we were in the booth there in Vegas, what would be your intro to this game?
My intro would be a really fun matchup between an ascendant Utah and a Nebraska team that hopes to be where Utah's at in a lot of ways. I think this is a matchup of maybe an old power and a team that's still knocking on the door. In Utah, a team that's had a couple splash moments in recent history. I say recent, I go back to 2012 or 13 Sugar Bowl against Alabama, but a team in Utah that AD really hasn't had a downturn. Yes, losing Kyle Whittingham is a big deal for them. One of the best coaches of the 21st century for Utah, taking over that program after Urban Meyer left and making that program's success continue. That's a big storyline. Utah's never really had the downturn. Nebraska's had really its first downturn in program history. Huskers still dealing with a lot of the ramifications of that. I would say, Utah is a model program in a lot of ways for a lot of programs across the country. But I think especially for what Nebraska wants to turn into and, do philosophically, it's a great matchup and a great measuring stick for Nebraska to see, hey, this is what it takes. This is what you got to look like to get the results that Utah has.
If I was in the booth, there's three things I didn't mention this morning, but three core storylines, I would say. The first thing, like you mentioned, Morgan Scaly taking over the Arab against. He's been there since 2007, so this is not and I think, unfortunately, this is unfortunate for Nebraska, but fortunate for the Utes. The voice is not going to change much in that locker room. They know this man. They know who he is. He knows who they are. So it's going to be interesting still with your head coach not there. They have new voices in their locker room too, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or silence of voices that were once there for so many years. So I think sometimes the silence can even be more deafening than the new voices that we have in Nebraska. So it's going to be interesting what happens there. Do you expect much to change with Scaly being the head coach?
Not in one game. The only way I think this would have really affected Utah is if it would have been that bombshell and they were really reeling from it and it just happened.
They knew this was coming
that week, right? And no, not like I don't know how much they knew it was coming.
I'm not saying Michigan, but they knew he was going to be on his way out as far as Whittingham was.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. If this would have happened Monday, okay, maybe they're still reeling. Maybe they're still dealing with it. The fact that we've had some time from the announcement, you've had the closure with coach moving on and getting hired again, you know what the future holds. I think that there's not as much maybe the shock value anymore. That's worn off. Scally's been there for a long time, like you said, so the messaging has got to be consistent. Where I'm curious to see, AD, if the voice changes for both programs. Utah, with its number of opt-outs and portal guys, and Nebraska certainly has its own. What's the player leadership difference for each team, right? Is there enough of the culture ingrained in what Utah does and how they go about their business that, yeah, we're down some guys that either went to the portal or following Coach Whittingham or are preparing for the NFL draft? Are those guys on the sideline? Are they off doing their own thing? That's for Utah. For Nebraska, how much is Emmett Johnson's voice missed? Did Nebraska, did he want to make the trip? Did Nebraska allow him to make the trip to be down there on the sideline, even though he's not playing? Dylan Raiola, doubt that he's with the team. Obviously, it would have been a storyline had he been there. And those are really the notable. I mean, Deshaun Singleton with an injury, does his voice still carry weight? He didn't opt out. He had a surgery he couldn't get back from. Javen Wright's availability is up in the air. Those are senior leaders and respected voices on that team, especially on the defensive side there, that their presence on the sideline, I think would be a big deal. Those are two guys that I would want to make the bowl trip if I was Nebraska.
Next thing was the opt-out math I had on here, and we talked about it a little bit this morning. For Utah, Devin Dampier, he's one of their impact players, not opt-out, but one of their impact players. With Sean Parker, run game presence. Daleen Bentley, Mackey Awards semifinalist at tight end, which those haven't necessarily killed us this year. But when you got a guy like Devin Dampier that is so deadly with his legs, it scares you. Then you add in Jackson Beanie. He's their ball hawking future All-American safety. Young, I think he's like a sophomore or junior, I believe. I didn't look that up for sure on that. But they've got some impact players to watch. I want to say this, but I want to get back to the opt-out math that I put on here this morning. Me and Nick talked about this, and Bach, Nick Schwann, not Nick, not Swim. Swim's awake, actually, so that's a good thing.
Well, I mean, he's kind of a zombie. He's moving around. Who knows if the lights are going all the way up or if they're all turned down.
You don't know if he's in Las Vegas or Los Angeles.
He's in loss of sleep right now.
I'm in the West Coast. Yeah, loss of sleep. Utah loses up front. They are pretty massive. They lose Spencer Fano and Caleb Lameau, both elite NFL, most likely early round offensive tackles. Fano, all Big 12 defensive lineman. John Henry Daly, their All-American defensive lineman. He's out with injury. But, of course, as you mentioned, you alluded to earlier, though, A.O., Emmett Johnson, the security blanket. I want to get your input on this because, Austin, I always appreciate you're very astute, you're very detailed. How much – that's like Linus' he's the security blanket for Linus. How much does that change what TJ Lateef does in that you don't have that security blanket?
It depends on the guys up front, right? Because I think if TJ Lateef was struggling, you could give a guy like Emmett Johnson carries, hey, we'll get you through. The offensive line is working for you, but if you're misfiring, you're off, you're nervous, whatever it comes down to, you got a guy behind you. Now, next man up is absolutely a thing. The coaching staff seems to like what they have in Mosey, in Nelson, in Ives. Kenneth Williams might get a shot as well. On the one hand, AD, if you're thinking about the way Nebraska wanted to win this game, it was probably with the rushing attack led by Emmett Johnson. On the other hand, it's a better sign for the future if, okay, security blanket's gone. You're a big boy now.
Right.
There's no binky. It's up on the shelf. It's out of your reach. You don't even
say
get
that
it.
like that's in your vernacular quite often with your kids.
Almost like I went through that 3 months ago, almost like that happened.
I was like, look at this guy.
You're so grown up. You're so big. Good job, buddy. But it's different, right? Because, for us, it's not a big deal. Oh, yeah, suck it up, kid. You'll be fine. You won't remember this in 2 minutes, let alone, in 20 years. But for these kids taking their baby steps, is little baby freshman quarterback TJ Lateef, it is a bigger deal for him to not have that blanket there, and he's got to come to grips with, okay, I'm not on my own, but I got to get creative. And that AD is creative in a good way, right? Not color outside the lines, not freelance, not feel like you have to go Superman like we've seen Nebraska quarterbacks have to do far too often. But every time you get on that field for the first time, or you face the biggest challenge you faced so far, there's got to be some problem solving. There's got to be some figured out. There's got to be some realization that football's not a perfect game.
Right.
You can drop the perfect game plan and really like the plays that you're going to call and the guys that you have around you. But something's going to happen. Something's going to go wrong. And if you, as a quarterback or a football player at any position, are dependent on everyone else doing everything right 100% of the time,
You're in trouble.
You're not going to be a good football player.
You're going to be in trouble. You'll be in trouble with that. You know, I'm excited to see Mosey, Nelson, and possibly even
Kenneth Williams.
Kenneth Williams in there as well. And Ives. Ives is one that earlier in the year, ran the ball well. You just didn't see him. He just disappeared like Casper the Ghost. You didn't see him. I'm not down there. I'm not going to say, well, he should. I don't know what goes on in practice. I'm not going to go there. But not seeing him makes you kind of question and scratch your head.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're going to see some guys today. I'm excited. I'm really excited to see the young running backs. We haven't seen a lot of them this year. TJ, and I here's what I'm kind of thinking for him. And I wrote this down for this morning for TJ Lateef. I think we're going to see more of a spread offense. I really do. I think we're going to see the ball spread out a little bit more to alleviate some of the stress on the young freshman. And to your point, if it all falls on his shoulders, that doesn't bode well. Because, like I said, this is his fourth game start. You got the UCLA game, of course. You got the Iowa game. You got the Penn State, a quarter and a half of USC. I just want to see it spread out a little bit more with this game here. But that's yet to be seen. But I tell you what, here is what I think for Nebraska. It's belief, it's buy-in, and it's clarity. If they come in here believing they can beat this team and they buy in, and that clarity piece, I'm going to say synonymous with discipline. Because when you're clear, you can play disciplined football. When you're not clear, that's when things get mumbled and jumbled. You're missing assignments. You're blowing assignments. This defense can't afford to blow assignments with a quarterback that they're going to be playing against this afternoon. Dan Pierre will absolutely kill you with his leg. I'm more worried about his legs than I am his arm.
Yeah, I think that's completely fair. We've seen what those quarterbacks have done to Nebraska so far this year. On your discipline point, this goes for TJ Lateef, who is a freshman in name, but dude, you're a sophomore. Tomorrow's 2026. Yeah. I mean, you play right. You played 4 games.
Yeah.
Okay, so time to grow up, whether you like it or not. Discipline is TJ Lateef not trying to take the world on his shoulders, but still trying to be the playmaker and a little bit of a screw you. You don't think I can do this?
Right.
I got this. I'm confident in my discipline for the defense. Right. New play caller, new scheme coming.
Right.
Bunch of guys out there hungry to make a name for themselves. The best way to make a name for yourself, AD, make splash plays. How are you going to do that? By doing your job, and then as Jay Foreman would say, then playing football.
Absolutely.
Right? If you go rogue, if you freelance, offensively or defensively, it's high risk, high reward, but you're probably still getting a minus when you grade out in film. What were you doing? That wasn't the play call. In a process-oriented program, nonetheless.
Right.
Result is great. Nebraska would really like a good result here. But the way you're going to stack positive results, regardless of position, is if you stick to the process.
Absolutely.
Don't do too much, but have a little bit of that screw you chip on your shoulder and go do something sick.
You know what? I'm going to say this. If I was in that locker room and I was speaking to those guys, I'm not saying I would give the big rah-rah. After a while, you don't hear that. How do you want to be remembered in your last game?
Yeah.
Especially those seniors that are playing significant time.
Either last game for a senior or last game of the season.
Absolutely.
How do you want this team to be remembered?
Absolutely. You got one more shot to change the narrative on some of these things this year. Not the whole thing, but in the way that you finish with your starting quarterback hitting the portal, with fluidity, with your top running back not playing, other key injuries. How are you going to respond? Because one thing that I have that they don't have and that none of us have, they don't, when they're done playing, you get a case of the would've, could've, should've's. Eliminate the would've, could've, should've's and say, I did, we did, and we left it all on the field. If you can play with max effort every play, I ain't talking about playing hard. Everybody's going to play hard. But are you going to play with max effort? Max effort means you wring the rag, there's nothing left. If you can wring the rag and there's nothing left, you know what? I think most Husker fans will say, you know what? They left it all on the field.
Yeah.
They left it on the field. If you see laziness, if you see, kind of this checked out, no, wring the rag, leave it on the field and say, you know what? I can leave Vegas. I can put down that helmet with the N on it, where there's a lot of guys that had a lot of blood, sweat, and tears before me. I want to make myself proud, the guy to the left and right of me proud, but I can walk out of here saying, you know what? I left it all on the field in Vegas. At the end of the day, let the chips fall where they may. But make sure you put max effort on every freaking play. After that, let the chips fall where they may.
364 days of football.
That's it.
Whether you were in the facility, out of the facility, working out, taking time off, recovering, 364 days, AD.
It all matters.
Boils down here to 3 hours, 3.5 hours, maybe. You get one last chance. If you took a day off and you have regrets about that, don't wait till 2026 to make it right. If you worked hard to build up to a bowl game and this is your chance, you worked 364 days for this.
Absolutely.
Don't let the opportunity be there in front of you and not take it. There's so much for everyone on that team to play for.
Be blasted Eminem right now. You got one shot.
My people.
Folks, thanks for riding with us. Up next, you are going to have our very own Harrison, and Raph is going to stream in as well, I believe, as well. I know you think it'd be on the board, also, AO? Are you out?
Harrison's hopping in. So I'm taking my break.
You bet. Brother, happy New Year to you and your beautiful family, man.
Likewise,
to all you
AD.
folks listening, I appreciate you. Thanks for listening in to the Raising Cane segment. Next up, you'll have Harrison, and Raph will be in. Happy New Year to you folks, and go Big Red.
You're listening to coverage of Nebraska football in the 2025 Las Vegas Bowl on 93.7 The Ticket. Bowl game coverage is sponsored by Advanced Medical Imaging, MWR Building and Fence, Ben Bleicher of Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, and Amigos Kings Classic. This is Nebraska football bowl game coverage on 93.7 The Ticket.
The Kindler Hotel in downtown Lincoln is a boutique hotel experience unlike any other in the area. Their 45 well-appointed rooms take inspiration from the history of Lincoln. Their double queen rooms are great for guests traveling with family, and the suites are great for a business trip or romantic getaway. No trip to the Kindler is complete without a handcrafted cocktail from Boitano's Lounge on the main floor, with comfortable seating options both inside and on the outside patio. Book your room today at thekindlerhotel.com in Lincoln at 11th and P.
I'm Kirk Herbstreit, and today I'm eating Raising Cane's.
Herbstreit's in the drive-thru again. Oh, hey, Kirk. What can I get you today?
I want a solid bench of 4 chicken fingers that are real difference makers. Sprinkle cut fries with dynamic ridge patterns, Texas toast, and cane sauce with an air of smugness that comes from knowing you're the best. Now back to you, Todd.
So the usual.
Make Raising Cane's part of your game day lineup. One love.
Nebraska farmers, harvest is here and every gallon counts. That's why Sap Brothers Petroleum launched the Go Big Red Fuel Giveaway. When you contract your fuel with Sap Brothers, enter to win $1,000 in fuel credits. As Husker Country knows, the only thing stronger than the roar at Memorial Stadium is the drive of a farmer putting food on the table. Fuel your farm with Sap Brothers Petroleum and enter to win $1,000 in fuel credits. Visit sapbros.net today. Sap Brothers Petroleum, fueling the heartland. Go Big Red.
Amigos is serving up a brand new way to score the bold, fresh flavors you love with 8 affordable value meals. At $5 and $6, these meals are easy on the wallet, so treat yourself anytime. Sink into the new 3-cheese melt or taco melt, both stacked with crave-worthy flavor in every bite. There's crunchy taquito dippers, too. Perfect for dunking in Amigos' famous ranch or spicy cheese. Big flavor, small price. Value meals at Amigos.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket all week for coverage of Nebraska football's appearance in the 2025 Las Vegas Bowl. Coverage of Nebraska football's bowl game is sponsored by Advanced Medical Imaging, Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, MWR Building and Fence, and Amigos Kings Classic on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate.
When it comes to keeping your equipment running, you've got options at Landmark Implement. Whether you need premium John Deere parts or a more economical solution, A&I parts from Landmark deliver the dependable performance you can count on with cost savings up to 40%. From filters and bearings to belts and everyday repairs, A&I parts are built to work as hard as you do while helping stretch your budget further. Stop by your local Landmark Implement parts counter today or shop online anytime at shop.deere.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Score big with rebates up to $2,000 on the Kawasaki Nav, Kawasaki's first ever fully electric personal transportation vehicle designed for cruising the good life. Be the first to nav your neighborhood. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location, where they can't wait to get you set up for football season.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket all week for coverage of Nebraska football's appearance in the 2025 Las Vegas Bowl. Coverage of Nebraska football's bowl game is sponsored by Advanced Medical Imaging, Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, MWR Building and Fence, and Amigos Kings Classic on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show brought to you by Currency.
All right, welcome back into the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Nebraska taking on the Utah Utes, ranked Utah at that one. We got Chris Raff joining us via stream. You guys are always welcome to join in. Chris Raff, how you feeling on game day here on Wednesday, December 31st to New Year's Eve?
Kind of mixed emotions. I mean, I'm excited for Nebraska to play football again, but then I'm sad that the football season's over already. It feels like this one flew by fairly quickly.
It's gone by in a hurry. And part of it, just sitting here watching all these bowl games go by, and I think the way those last two regular season games ended, it kind of went in a flash, and I'm okay with that based on some of the results. But there is a chance for redemption today. Yeah. And I know we talked about it yesterday, Raph, but what's at stake here for Nebraska? Because I think a lot of people like to go down the road of belittling these bowl games. We know Notre Dame certainly went down that road of not caring at all about any sort of postseason bowl game that's not the college football playoffs. But what's at stake for Nebraska? What can they gain in this one? And is there anything to lose?
I think this is very crucial for Nebraska today. I know there's some teams, like the Notre Dames that, have called it a season. But being the way that the final two games of the season ended for Nebraska, this is, I think, a huge game for Nebraska just for their psyche going into the offseason. I know next season there'll be a new team. I get that. But just having that, playing a good game today, maybe somehow squeaking out a victory, just what the springboard that can lead to, in the weight room, in the offseason. And also, too, a big thing is for the players. I mean, we talked about this, yesterday about football in college football is becoming kind of a one and done type thing. If you don't produce in that 1 year, there's a good chance that you might be asked to leave the next year, just for the fact that the way we've kind of projected into like a professional sports team. So it's huge for these players. It's huge for players to, to show that there's something that they can look forward to, or that the coaches can look at next year, because you're going to have the new offensive line coach will be down there coaching today. You're going to have Ulrich probably, in the box watching. So these players, this is almost like that. I think to the NFL, when you get to the final 2-3 games of the season, and you have those teams that get eliminated from the playoffs, and they ask, well, what are they there to play for? And it's like, you're technically kind of playing for your job next year. And I think that's kind of a way to look at this game. This today, it's not one that's just, hey, we're just going to take it and whatever happens. I think there's a lot of players today that are playing not only, for positioning next year, but they're also playing, for a spot on the team, because you don't know what happens with the new age of NIL or the transfer portal. Like there's a good chance, they have their list probably up in a coach's room somewhere down in the new facility, and it's got a list of top 10 20 players at each position, who they would like to get, so I think it's big for the players today to have a good performance.
100%. And for the coaches as well. I mean, by everything said, like, I know we already got some firings, some new guys in the building, but there's also some areas for those guys to step up. I know we got G. Wade as the offensive line coach, but obviously he's still getting his boots wet and just getting his, first touch into the program and saying what's all going on here. And for the players, you're spot on. I mean, these bowl games now are an opportunity for players to put their resume out there and also to keep themselves at the school they're at. I mean, it's a weird world where sometimes they play great and then the other school starts sniffing around, but some guys can play into position. Like that running back room, for instance, who wants it? We talk about it with the wrestling program all the time at that 125. Who wants it? Who wants to step up and make a claim to that spot? Same thing for the running backs. If it's Ives, if it's Mosey, Husker fans don't really care as long as you go out there and perform. And there's a lot of pride out there. I mean, you got your last 2 regular season games just flat out did not go great. Tough watches for the Husker fan base. But this bowl game right here, whatever you want to say about Whittingham being gone and about all the excuses that Utah can have, who cares about whatever Utah's problems are? Right now, this has just got to be purely Nebraska focused, and we got to start selling this program again with some pride. And a win versus this team in Las Vegas, you have the college football playoff game coming up after it. You'll have a lot of eyes on it. We got to get back to selling this program as we can't really say powerhouse, but at the very least a respectable program that is building into something. For all the heat that Matt Rule's gotten, hey, 2 back-to-back bowl games, that is something that has not been done in a long time, but neither has beaten a ranked opponent. I mean, that's another huge opportunity. Beat a ranked opponent. Start changing the narrative about Nebraska football. You can wash a lot of those bad tastes down to your mouth with a win today, whether it's by 1 point or by 14. At the very least, though, you have to go out there and fight. The one thing that absolutely cannot happen today is a bunch of guys loafing out there or a bunch of just miscommunication and guys not focused. However, hearing a lot of the guys in the press conferences, there does seem to be a little bit of fire in them, a little bit of belief that they did not show who they truly were in those last 2 games. And that's what I'm really hoping to see today. Regardless of the win or loss, I want a team that goes out there and fights, that makes it at least a close game. And if they can, win it. Sell the program more. Wins are easy to sell a program. You got a bunch of those behind you. Chris Raff, give me some of the keys to today's game. When you're looking at a Utah team who is stout and stopping the run and elite in their own run game on offense.
Well, I think the big thing for today's game will be the quarterback position. You've had the kind of the push and the pull, kind of within the station. How important is this start for TJ Lateef today? Like, I think from it, like, importance of the start, I don't know the game magnitude. There'll probably be bigger games in his future, I would guess. However, this game for him, I think, is super important for him to maybe, to take that grasp of the quarterback position going into the offseason. Because let's face it, if he doesn't perform well today, there's going to be there'll be murmurs, and there's going to be like, well, Nebraska's going to have to hit the transfer portal. Nebraska's going to have to find somebody. He plays well today. Then that transfer portal takes on a different shape. Like, okay, maybe they're going and they're looking for a second string quarterback or something like that. Are we going to have a quarterback going into the spring and next fall kind of putting his hands around that quarterback position and saying, hey, I'm the man here. I'm the quarterback for Nebraska? Or are we going into, is there going to be a full-fledged type quarterback controversy going into the fall? And we all know how that usually shapes up. So I'm hoping today that he puts his hands around the quarterback position and he basically gives the Nebraska offense a direction of what it can look forward to next year, because I'm really not up for, bringing in, 2 other guys and making it a full-fledged quarterback controversy, because then we'll spend the whole entire spring and the whole entire fall trying to decide who the quarterback is, when we need to, really get to focusing on, the ins and outs and the X's and O's and what the offense can be and what they want it to be, because TJ Lateef has a skill set. He's a little bit more of a runner. He's able to throw the ball. But if you open it up to a quarterback controversy, there's a chance you might bring in, a passer, or you might bring in. So we're still got to figure out what this offense is going to be. And I think it's going to be huge for TJ Lateef today to show, what he can be in this Nebraska offense. So I think that's the huge key for the Nebraska offense today.
Yeah, it helped the payroll out quite a bit. If you got your guy in TJ Lateef. Yeah, this is always the problem. You want to bring in, say people aren't happy with TJ Lateef's performance. Everyone's begging to get a big-time quarterback. We had that with Dylan Raiola. Whatever you thought about how he performed or not, put that aside. How much money of our NIL payroll were we putting to him? Not that he was right or wrong for it, but he was getting a lot. You have a guy that's not nearly as expensive. You can start divvying that up. Ideally, for me, you put that money into the trenches and you keep those guys happy, and you really start trying to develop that thing. But you don't want to get into a battle where you're in the market talking to multiple quarterbacks, crunching the numbers, whether it's $1 million, just under $1 million, or just over $1 million. I mean, that's the era of college football where you got like an accounting off period where everyone's just fighting, battling with numbers. You know who you got in TJ Lateef. I think everyone feels a lot better about it. So you're absolutely right. A lot on the line for him to go out there and have a good game. Although, does the injury, worry you at all? Do you think he'll be fully okay in that run game, that we'll see him confident with his legs?
Well, from what I've heard, people saying that, he's back to completely healthy. So, we'll see it on the field today, how he's used. It's usually Nebraska fans are pretty good at the eye test. They're able to, catch if something's wrong or if something's being held back or something like that. So we'll see that today. But I just think for a lot of players today, this game is going to be instrumental. I mean, this is the first chance where these coaches, where Jeep and Rob and those guys, those coaches are going to see these players for the first time in a game element. I mean, we can talk all we want about, how many years have we heard, oh, they look amazing in practice. Oh, it's going to be, and then the game situation hits and you're just like, what about all this stuff we heard about in practice? So I think this game is huge for a lot of players, for a lot of offensive linemen. I think you're going to see, some more offensive linemen today. Some of those younger guys, get that opportunity. Defense is the same way. You've got players that are sitting out, players that are going to be in the game. So there's huge opportunity, and it's huge opportunity for these players to show the coaching staff that, hey, these are guys that we might be able to depend on next year. And I think this is the first step today in showing those coaches.
I think that's the headline, just opportunities to be had. I don't know what it is, but I can tell you right now, there's a ton of opportunity for Nebraska football, not only to kind of resurrect their name and where they stand and the direction that they're going, but also for the players and some of these new coaches. Chris Rapp, give me your score prediction versus Utah. The spread has moved down to 14 in Utah's favor.
Oh man, I think prediction. I am not sure. It's like my heart says Nebraska, my head says Utah. Let's say Nebraska 24, Utah 23. What the heck?
I like it, and I can tell you right now, Raph, my mind is exactly where yours at. So I'm just going to double down on that. We'll go 24-23. Give me the Huskers in a win. Make it competitive. That is the biggest thing for me at the very least. With that being said, though, that is Chris Raff. We got to throw it to break here. You can catch him on Raff's Good Take on Sports, 93.7 The Ticket at night. But this is the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Don't go anywhere, though. We still got plenty left. All the way up until kickoff, we got another hour right here, 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to coverage of Nebraska football in the 2025 Las Vegas Bowl on 93.7 The Ticket. Bowl game coverage is sponsored by Advanced Medical Imaging, MWR Building and Fence, Ben Bleicher of Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, and Amigos Kings Classic. This is Nebraska football bowl game coverage on 93.7 The Ticket.
The Kindler Hotel in downtown Lincoln is a boutique hotel experience unlike any other in the area. Their 45 well-appointed rooms take inspiration from the history of Lincoln. Their double queen rooms are great for guests traveling with family, and the suites are great for a business trip or romantic getaway. No trip to the Kindler is complete without a handcrafted cocktail from Boitano's Lounge on the main floor, with comfortable seating options both inside and on the outside patio. Book your room today at thekindlerhotel.com in Lincoln at 11th and P.
Winter is just around the corner. Is your vehicle ready? Don't get left out in the cold. At A1 Automotive, we prep your car for whatever winter throws your way here in Nebraska. For battery checks, brake inspections, tires, heaters, whatever your car needs to keep you and your family safe on the road, we've got you covered. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their Contact Us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966. It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Score big with rebates up to $2,000 on the Kawasaki NAV, Kawasaki's first ever fully electric personal transportation vehicle designed for cruising the good life. Be the first to NAV your neighborhood. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location, where they can't wait to get you set up for football season.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket immediately after every Nebraska men's basketball game for 1 hour of post-game recap. The Nebraska Basketball Postgame Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, and the Lincoln Airport on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There's never a good time for an appliance to break. You're thinking, how much is this going to cost? How do I get it here? What am I going to do? But it's always a good time to save at Schaefer's Clearance Outlet. Save hundreds on factory warranted appliances and get Schaefer's garage drop-off delivery free. That's right, big savings, full factory warranties, and free drop-off delivery. When something breaks and you want to save some money, help yourself out and check out Schaefer's Clearance Outlet. Open Wednesdays 4 to 7 and Saturdays 9 to noon at 48th and R in Lincoln.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day, because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket immediately after every Nebraska men's basketball game for 1 hour of post-game recap. The Nebraska Basketball Postgame Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, and the Lincoln Airport on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
I'm Kirk Herbstreit, and today I'm eating Raising Cane's.
Herb Street's in the drive-thru again. Oh, hey, Kirk. What can I get you today?
I want a solid bench of 4 chicken fingers that are real difference makers. Sprinkle cut fries with dynamic ridge patterns, Texas toast, and cane sauce with an air of smugness that comes from knowing you're the best. Now back to you, Todd.
So the usual.
Make Raising Cane's part of your game day lineup. One love.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Select Plumbing.
We are back here at 93.7 The Ticket, A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show, creeping within 20 minutes of kickoff between Nebraska and Utah from Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. Austin Norman, Harrison Arends with you. Hold the fort down for the next 20 minutes or so. This segment brought to you by Select Plumbing, now servicing Seward and Milford, in addition to Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area. For any plumbing issues, call Select Plumbing. That number is 402-542-5319. Harrison, Nebraska off the bowl game schneid last year with a win in the Pinstripe Bowl against the Boston College team that, like Utah, had some opt-outs, key offensive linemen and key defensive linemen. As we look at bowl season for Big Ten teams so far, kind of the where Nebraska has to pick up the race for these Big Ten teams. You'll get Michigan and Texas coming up here any second now in the Citrus Bowl. You also have Ohio State hosting Miami, and technically the home team down at the Cotton Bowl coming up later tonight. But so far, you have Washington with a 4-touchdown win in the Los Angeles Bowl against Boise State. That was a huge result for a really good Washington team. They came into the year just, bowl eligibility was probably their goal. Had certainly a solid year. You get Oregon blitzing James Madison in the first round of the college football playoff. As we scroll through some more Big Ten results, Northwestern takes down Central Michigan 34-7. Minnesota continues its bowl winning streak with an overtime win over New Mexico. And then you have Iowa and Vanderbilt going on right now. USC, the first loser of bowl season for the Big Ten. Heartbreaking fashion for the Trojans, hilarious fashion for those of you who root against them. 30-27, TCU walks them off last night. And also on a walk-off, it was Illinois over Tennessee, 30-28 with a big field goal. Late in that one, Luke Altmaier leads the final drive in his final game in an Illini uniform. Harrison, that's the company that Nebraska's trying to keep right now. You look at some of those opponents, Utah's better than Tennessee, at least record-wise. College football playoff rankings would even have you believe that. Utah's better than TCU, finished ahead of them in the Big 12 standings. Not that these teams are pushovers by any means. Nebraska's probably facing the toughest test, non-playoff division of any team. Maybe you can say Iowa and Vanderbilt is close to this, but clearly Iowa's ahead of where Nebraska's at right now. Nebraska's got a big test ahead of it when it comes to facing Utah. It's been a wildly successful bowl season for the Big Ten. You'd hate for Nebraska to be kind of the black eye or the black check mark in the loss column as opposed to adding to the win column.
Yeah, 100%. And they got a big challenge.
Penn State won too.
Penn State got the win. And it's 2 years in a row now where the Big Tens have been pretty impressive when it comes to these bowl games. And Nebraska still feels like we're trying to figure out where are we at in the pack. We like to say at the very least we're in that middle tier. Well, you go look at these bowl games, those quote unquote middle tier teams are given business, whether it's SEC opponents, wherever else they may be facing. For Nebraska football, and this is kind of where I landed for Rav, I don't care about any of Utah's problems. They knew their coach was going to be gone, maybe not wearing a Michigan uniform, but they knew Whittingham was going to be out of there regardless. All those narratives don't matter. This is just purely about Nebraska. Like, this is an opportunity to once again try to sell your narrative. You got the college football playoff game tonight as well. So you're going to have a lot of eyes on these college football bowl games leading up to it. If you're Nebraska, you want to get back on track and convince people we're heading in the right direction. What better way to do it is get your first ranked win for Coach Matt Rule, which a lot of people, that record, they're probably going to talk about it multiple times throughout that broadcast.
19-18 overall right now.
Exactly. And you just got to figure out a way, at the very least, be competitive. It can't look like those last two regular season games, but this is a big challenge. But as you mentioned, you look at these bowl games, it hasn't stopped some of these other Big Ten teams from stepping up to the challenge and not only, fighting with some pride out there, but getting wins.
Absolutely. This is a game for Nebraska that AD and I talked about, has plenty of stakes for plenty of players. It's a game that's got to mean something to Nebraska. We'll see how fans take it, though. I think if you're a player on the field and you're going to be playing in a game, you got to find a way to motivate yourself, get up for it, and convince yourself that this game means something. I just think there's no shortage of ways for the players that this game should mean something to them. For the fan base, Harrison, is this just a no-lose situation for Nebraska? All they have to lose is the game. I ask that because you look at the way November ended. Nebraska gets there at their win over UCLA to end up moving to 7-3. Then the two big losses to Penn State and Iowa. You get a bowl matchup against a tough Utah team. If you lose, well, that's what this team was doing down the stretch. It's late in the year. I know all the turnovers, so be it. Whatever, didn't put much stock into it. But if they win, look, maybe Matt Rule made some good hires. Maybe there is some intriguing young talent. Why didn't these guys see the field more during the season? I have a hard time seeing Nebraska fans complaining too much if this doesn't go Nebraska's way, but still also being able to celebrate if Nebraska finds a way to win.
Yeah, my biggest fear is I don't think apathy will ever fully set in here at Nebraska, but like you lose this one and say it just looks bad from the start all the way to the fourth quarter and that clock hits 0. You're going to hear some angry people for a day, maybe a week at the most, and then it's going to be quiet. Even leading up to this bowl game, I was like, boy, this is awfully quiet compared to what it was last year for some obvious reasons, but also the way that regular season ended. I mean, this is a situation for Nebraska. You just want to fight. You're looking at that USC TCU game. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of those USC fans were upset and not in a great mood after the game, but they can wake up, 48 hours later and being like, it was a close fight. You do a little bit of things different. Our program is not absolutely in the hole. We just got to tweak a few things there and we win that game. For Nebraska football, I think that's what you're looking for. Something tangible to say, listen, I can see some weaknesses, certainly here and there, maybe positional players. Obviously, that running back room is going to be a question mark. And the portal's there for options maybe in the offseason, but you just want to have some direction, I think, out of this game. And if you can have a direction to point to, I think the fan base, I'm not going to say you're going to be ecstatic with the loss. They're not going to be celebrating the loss, but they can have an idea of where we're going. And as opposed to if this thing just looks bad from the beginning, like I said, I think it's going to be a lot of upset and then crickets, and it's going to be hard to get people bought back into this program until, of course, fall comes and we all seem to hop back in the boat regardless.
About 15 minutes away, maybe a little bit more, as the game on the four-letter network ahead of Nebraska is Iowa and Vanderbilt. Hawkeyes just reopened a 2-possession lead over the Commodores. It's 34-24 Iowa after a 44-yard field goal by Drew Stevens. Iowa certainly a program with identity. Minnesota knows who it is. Illinois knows who it is. 2 of those 3 teams have won bowl games. 1 is well on their way, a 10-point lead with 4 minutes to go. Let's go ahead and take a break. Let's talk about that direction. What can today mean in terms of setting the direction of 2026 and beyond for Nebraska football? He's Harrison Darns. I'm Austin Norman. This segment has been brought to you by Select Plumbing, now servicing Seward and Milford, in addition to Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding areas. For any plumbing issues, call Select Plumbing at 402-542-5319. One final segment of the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show for the year, for the season, after this.
You're listening to coverage of Nebraska football in the 2025 Las Vegas Bowl on 93.7 The Ticket. Bowl game coverage is sponsored by Advanced Medical Imaging, MWR Building and Fence, Ben Bleicher of Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, and Amigos Kings Classic. This is Nebraska football bowl game coverage on 93.7 The Ticket.
Stonebrook Exterior is your trusted partner in exterior solutions for both residential and commercial projects across Lincoln and Omaha. With over 2 decades of expertise, they deliver everything your building needs, all under one roof. From roofing and siding to gutters, wall systems, custom masonry, and metalwork, Stonebrook handles it all with precision, safety, and professionalism. Take the worry out of your exterior projects. Choose Stonebrook Exterior, where quality, safety, and service come together seamlessly. Visit StonebrookExterior.com or call 402-438-5559 to get your free quote today.
Amigos is serving up a brand new way to score the bold, fresh flavors you love with 8 affordable value meals. At $5 and $6, these meals are easy on the wallet, so treat yourself anytime. Sink into the new 3-cheese melt or taco melt, both stacked with crave-worthy flavor in every bite. There's crunchy taquito dippers, too, perfect for dunking in Amigos' famous ranch or spicy cheese. Big flavor, small price. Value meals at Amigos.
I'm Kirk Herbstreit, and today I'm eating Raising Cane's.
Herbstreit's in the drive-thru again. Oh, hey, Kirk. What can I get you today?
I want a solid bench of 4 chicken fingers that are real difference makers. Sprinkle cut fries with dynamic ridge patterns, Texas toast, and cane sauce with an air of smugness that comes from knowing you're the best. Now back to you, Todd.
So the usual.
Make Raising Cane's part of your game day lineup. One love.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Score big with rebates up to $2,000 on the Kawasaki Nav, Kawasaki's first ever fully electric personal transportation vehicle designed for cruising the good life. Be the first to nav your neighborhood. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location, where they can't wait to get you set up for football season.
There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their Contact Us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show, brought to you by A1 Automotive.
Back one final time for the season, for the year, on the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. A1 Automotive, always honest answers, located at 11th and L, just down the block from us here at 93.7 The Ticket. Also, A1 Automotive is now at 5110 State Hill Drive. Shout out Kendall, the Warnock family, and the crew at those two locations. Do a great job. Big thanks to them, as always, for being the title sponsor of our pregame show. 3 hours of pregame coverage, every Nebraska football game, home and away, would not be possible without the help of Kendall and the crew at A1 Automotive. Speaking of direction, Harrison, Kendall, get your cars pointed the right direction. What direction is Nebraska pointed now? Is Nebraska pointed up? Are they pointed down? Or are they just pointed straight ahead? What do you view as the direction of this program entering this bowl game against Utah?
Recalibrating. The direction is tough to tell right now. I think this game right here is the recalibration game. I mean, I'll be honest. Do you have a good answer to that one? I'd want to say up, because we are in back-to-back bowl games. So it's unfair to say Matt Rule hasn't done anything. As much as you might be upset with some of these games, back-to-back bowl games is a lot better than a majority of my life, outside of the Bo Pelini era.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to totally discredit him, but there is still a lot of confusion, I think, of are we really building into the thing that we all anticipated into year 3? Okay, maybe it's taking a little bit longer. how confident are we going to be there that it's there in year 4?
Yeah, I'll phrase it this way if you keep with the cars and directions analogy. I think Matt Rule is still looking for the right co-pilot, the right person to put in the passenger seat with him. Year 1 didn't really have that. You would think that maybe it would have been Phil Snow. When Matt Rule returned to college football, Phil Snow said, yep, no, I'm good. I'm done coaching. Of course, he's been around the Nebraska program, but hired on a different role. Is in the building, but he's not on the field in a coaching role making decisions with Matt Rule like he used to be. So there's one guy that you would think would be the co-pilot out the door. Dylan Raiola or Dom Raiola or Dana Holgerson, however you view those three as connected or not, doesn't seem like there's a natural fit. You know, it seems like guys want to go different directions. Matt Rule had a vision for his program and knew the way there. Raiola clan seemed to think like they knew the best way to do it. Maybe Dana Holgerson brought in with an outside voice too, not necessarily working out the way Nebraska wanted it to, resulting in Dylan Raiola's transfer. And then, Harrison, you enter year 4 without knowing who Matt Rule's co-pilot is. Is it Marcus Satterfield? Is it Rob Orrick? Is it Dana Holgerson now growing into that role? Is it Rob Dvorak? Is it Pat Stewart? Is it Troy Danon? Should Troy Danon be the one in the passenger seat, or should Troy Danon be the one that's steering the car? I don't know. But that becomes even more glaring when you look across the other sideline today and see Utah. Kyle Whittingham had been at Utah in some capacity for seemingly forever. You know, since the 90s in some way, took over after Urban Meyer left as the head coach from then. He found his co-pilot in Morgan Scalley, who was named the coach in waiting a few years ago. They're in lockstep. The vision is the same. The message is the same. And that's why Morgan Scalley is the guy taking over. You know, if Matt Rule were to, you know, have to take some time off from Nebraska, not leave, not resign, not get fired, but you had to hand the program over to someone, who would be the person on staff that you say, oh yeah, they have Coach Rule's vision. They know what's going on. I don't know if you have a clear answer to that. And that's not the only way to measure the health of a program.
Right.
But it just seems like everyone knows that Nebraska needs to go there. Nebraska's here. Nebraska needs to go there. How to get there, the best path to get there, seems like everyone has their own sort of ideas.
Yeah, fair enough there. I mean, you kind of heard it with, you know, I think it was Steve Sipple who asked the question about proposing the idea of like, is this somewhat of a soft reset? You know, that is not verbatim, someone paraphrasing there. And then Matt Rule, you know, with his answer, I think he's pretty confident that he still thinks he's in the right direction. I'd like to believe him as well. And again, that's why I kind of go to this game. This is the time to just straight out prove it. It doesn't mean a win. It means fighting for 4 quarters. And this is a good Utah team. Listen, they knew their coach was going to be gone regardless. Not in that Michigan hat, but nonetheless, they were going to be ready to play this game. Yes, they have some guys not going to be there available, but same thing with us. I just can't get over. It's another opportunity. I think that's just the biggest headline heading into this. You can affirm some more faith into this fan base and to the rest of that college, you know, football nation as to where Nebraska is and who they are. You know, also, you know, for the players on this roster, give them some confidence that they made the right decision. And hopefully some of those guys can have some great opportunities, go out there and make some plays. And then, you know, they can maybe envision their role here at Nebraska. Austin Norman, I don't know if you like doing picks for this game. I just did 23-24 Nebraska because that's what I'm going to go with. I think there's a lot at stake here.
I think that I have a hard time calling this a must-win game for Nebraska. It's a bowl game. I would like to see Nebraska come out, play inspired. I would like to see Nebraska play with an edge that it seemed to lack for the better part of 2025. Maybe they're in spurts. Show some edge. Play with a chip on your shoulder. Play confident, not cocky. Nebraska hasn't earned anything yet. It has a great opportunity in front of it. I think at the end of the day, Utah wins. I think it's another long off season of questions for us to be discussing for the next couple months as we lead up to spring ball, through spring ball, until we get back to August or July, August practices before the season opener in 26. So it's not just a moral victory if Nebraska goes out and plays hard. I want to see something I haven't seen before, whether that's a win, whether that's playing with edge, so be it. So let's put a bow on it there. Big thanks to A1 Automotive, always honest answers. A1 Automotive at 11th and L and now 5110 State Hill Drive. For Harrison Arons, for our crew in Vegas, for all our great sponsors, headlined, of course, by A1 Automotive, title sponsor of our Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Thank you so very much. Jay Foreman and I will be with you for 3 hours or so following Nebraska and Utah in the Las Vegas Bowl. For Harrison, I'm Austin. We'll talk to you again soon.
You're listening to coverage of Nebraska football in the 2025 Las Vegas Bowl on 93.7 The Ticket. Bowl game coverage is sponsored by Advanced Medical Imaging, MWR Building and Fence, Ben Bleicher of Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, and Amigos Kings Classic. This is Nebraska football bowl game coverage on 93.7 The Ticket.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big